Hello!
Hello.
Hello again!
I clipped my microphone a whole bunch. That'll be fun.
We are back!
Welcome to the show that we do.
Episode 88.
You know what? We need to quit skipping weeks. I feel like we could squeeze it in.
We're not skipping weeks.
I always love it when we do it. It's so great to be back again.
I mean, it's a nice thing that we do, and I do enjoy it. But the thing is, we're all like big adult boys with big adult jobs and families and stuff.
Unlike,
and sometimes it's hard to make getting the schedules to sync up, because we used to just do it on Mondays, but now it's like, well, Mondays are really bad for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, and unlike YouTubers that do this professionally, and they need to YouTube, we don't do this professionally.
That's true.
We do this on the sidily. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's not like we're like, oh, yeah. Hey, bros, you should subscribe or else I'll die of starvation tonight.
Yeah, you don't have to listen to the first 5 minutes of our podcast just trying to shill you with subscribe and go listen to this episode where we talk about how much you should subscribe and buy this product. It's totally not an ad.
Buy our product again.
Yeah.
Comment below.
Comment and buy.
Affiliate link in the comments.
Yeah. Buy our Amazon stuff.
Well, I haven't seen you guys in half a year now.
Right?
How are you guys doing?
That's true.
I'm doing well. I'm actually doing exceptionally well because I went on a vacation. And I hadn't been on this vacation. I remember last
time I went on a vacation.
Right? So I had planned this vacation. Guess how long ago I had planned this vacation?
Pre-COVID.
I planned it 3 years ago.
Wow.
This vacation was for my first anniversary.
Nice.
Wow.
And I said, because we went on a honeymoon, right? We went on a honeymoon, and I said, let's go all out for a honeymoon and our first anniversary. Let's go big. And because we don't know what will happen after that. And then COVID hit. The C word hit very hard.
Virus of unknown origin.
Yes, of unknown, And so that hit. And then we had lots of fun vacations for the past 3 years, on our different anniversaries. So it's been great. But, so this one came. And the reason it got pushed back is because it was a cruise.
And you had a baby.
And no. That's not actually why. It was all the cruise nonsense constantly. They said, then the cruise, here's what the cruise did. They emailed us and said, hey, because of this thing that's happening, we are canceling your cruise that you've paid for. And I said, oh. And they said, but you have two choices. You stay with us and we give you $200 per person.
Oh, shoot.
Of onboard cruise credit. So you have to get on board, and then whatever you spend on board on your little cruise card, we will pay for $200 per person.
$200 a person?
A person. And then I said, okay, you got me. You got me.
That's almost $500.
Yeah.
And then if you're like, hey, I want to play shuffleboard, and they're like, that's $200 a person.
Yeah.
I want a Sprite. That's $200 a person.
Yeah. So then a couple years, the 3 years we're waiting for this, right? And so a couple years, we call them, say, hey, we want to cancel. It's a lot of money. We can go to other vacations, right? We don't know when everything's going to go back to normal. And they said, well, if you stay with us and rebook to another time, because they kept canceling. We kept rebooking every year, and they kept pushing it back. And they said, well, what we'll do is we'll add another $100 to, and I think it's $125 to your onboard cruise credits that you have.
That's almost $800.
We had $600 total between us, or $650 or something total between us to spend on the cruise. For free, all we had to do was get on the boat.
What'd you buy?
So what we did, it was a blast. So we dropped our son.
I mean, depending on where you go for a cruise, you could buy a person for that many Disney bucks.
It has to be through the cruise line, on the ship, or
book adventures while you're off the ship, while you're on.
Yeah. So what we did, we dropped Liam off at Christy's parents' house. We said bye-bye, and he said bye-bye. And we said, okay, did the full hand goodbye. And then we went on the cruise, and it was a week It was a week a cruise.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's so long.
I know, it was amazing. And then what we did with the money was we went to the spa the first day to try to do like a raffle to see if we can even get more. We didn't win the raffle, unfortunately. But
You should have bought more raffle tickets.
no, you couldn't buy more. You just had to show up to this, gymnasium area or the gym, not gymnasium, the gym.
Could you use that money for gambling?
Yes.
Oh man,
I know.
missed opportunity.
No,
You could use the free money on the slots?
Yes. Because it's
Oh my
all
gosh.
it's whatever's charged to your room.
I love
That's
that there's
awesome.
gambling on the ship just
Yeah.
because you're in international waters. you can do
International
any-
waters.
I mean, honestly, the fact that there's like human slavery and gambling and like a firearm,
Yep.
like fully automatic Gatling gun on the like.
Not that.
You could shoot torpedoes and-
You said only one thing that's not on the ship. So what we did was we went to the spa and we said, okay, because we had you $600 to just. It's not you didn't have to bring this $600. They're just giving it to you. So it's like, what are we going to do? So Christy goes and gets like a $200 massage seaweed wrap thing and like for an hour and a half. And I'm like, that sounds great. I get massages a decent amount on the land. So I would get acupuncture because I've never done that before. I've never done an acupuncture before, so I wanted to experience it with somebody else's
Do you know what
money.
acupuncture is, Josiah?
So
Yeah, they like jam needles in your head.
Yeah, it's literally at the beginning of the Matrix when he comes out of the pod and they're shoving steel needles into his body because his muscles have never moved before, and they put him back in the water and they're all bloody. That's
Yeah.
what Jordan did.
so I did acupuncture,
Oh,
and so it was cool, and it was a doctor because I think you have to be a doctor to do it.
Probably not.
I mean, maybe
International waters.
Yeah, you can do it on the side. So, and I said, hey, here are my specific areas: my back, shoulder, and I'm not, it's more stressful because I hadn't slept. Liam, our son, hadn't slept throughout the night more than 15 times throughout his entire life. And it'd been like a year and it'd been like 14 months. So we hadn't gotten like full sleep for like 14 months. So I'm like, okay, this is great. So I said, let's go do acupuncture, work on my neck and everything. So what I did was I said, hey, sir, when the needles are inside me, can you take a picture for me?
Oh, gross.
So here you go, Justin. Just I can't see it, but those are the needles inside me.
jeez.
What does it look like? Describe it to me.
And then there's the one in my foot that he put there.
Is that the one for your anxiety?
I don't know why he put one in my. It's like not in my foot, Josiah. It's in.
I feel like I would twitch and it would mess something up.
So here's the thing. So the spa double booked him during that. So that's the one in my arm, right?
So he was doing.
Two dudes.
He was
So
just like swapping
You're
needles.
doing a couples.
No, not couples. Oh, and there's one in my head there. So right in the top
just
of my
a
head.
couple of bros.
Top of my head,
getting
he goes,
acupuncture
"Ding."
Oh,
together.
heck no.
Yeah. So right in the top.
No one is putting a needle
Right in my crown.
into my.
Right in my crown. He goes,
skull.
think, and I'm like, oh, but I didn't. So you don't really feel them. You feel like it's like someone flicks you with something sharp. Like that's what I can describe it.
And
The
they
think.
leave their finger in
So
when they
so
flick
he
you with
says
something sharp.
So he says, okay, I'll be back in 20 minutes. They both double booked me. Sorry about that. And I'm like, oh boy, that's. So he leaves me in a room alone with needles in my body. And this is day one of the cruise ship.
and the lights.
And
turn
that means we're on open waters, not parked somewhere.
No, you're just cruising.
We're going. We're literally cruising along
Yeah.
the open waters. And I'm like, and I'm not claustrophobic. I've done an MRI for like 5 hours and not claustrophobic at all. This is the moment in my life I started to get claustrophobic.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't know how to move. If something starts to go wrong on this ship, if they say, emergency, go to your muster stations.
Yep.
What?
I would
in the
honestly.
world. So I start having all these crazy thoughts, and
You
I'm
gotta
like,
just wait.
And then
He'll come back for
he
you.
hears the door close. He hears the door open and close.
So I started panicking and
He's
saying,
like freaking out.
I'm not, like I said, I'm not claustrophobic. Like, I'm not claustrophobic in tight spaces. It was just the fact that I was like, I don't know where these needles are pointed in me. I don't know how, if I bend my neck, am I going to like cripple myself? Like, what's going on? And I'm like, man, that guy should have never left me alone. I'm like, this is horrible. So it's 20 minutes.
He should have
of
like
just,
got the nurse or so, like just
So I have
some
all these
lady to
needles
just
in my
stand
spine.
there.
yeah. So I'm like,
Can you just stand there and make sure he doesn't need anything?
yeah. So I'm sure if
If
I
he
started
starts swimming
shouting,
around, come and get me.
I'm sure if I started shouting, someone would have heard me. But man,
Excuse me, Mr. Hepatitis.
so thank you for bringing that up. I asked him. I thought I had a good idea of what acupuncture does, right? What do you think acupuncture does for you, Josiah?
It probably reduces anxiety.
No, like how does it work?
Yeah, it goes into your muscle. And
I'm
relieves
confused.
yeah.
Yeah.
It opens up your chakras and relieves your anxieties.
No, it
So-
opens up your muscle tension.
Okay, that's what I thought. So that's what I thought. It was like pressure points, right? Pressure points, and like, okay, blink, we're gonna like your muscle's gonna like unravel, like like that kind of thing, because
I
it
understand.
touched it in the right spot.
Yes.
That you can't do externally.
Which is why they usually put them like around your diamond chakra so
Yes.
that you can.
Yes.
There it is.
Yes.
No, he didn't say that.
No, not even a little bit. Nothing about chakras.
Okay.
So what he said, because I asked him, I said, I'm curious.
I was going to get
What-
really frustrated.
I said, how does this work? Like, what is this doing to work, right?
Like,
And
does it work better if you recite a Veda, like, while you're...
Well, I was trying to touch my belly button, but he's like, stop it. So, and he's
Did he
like,
put
"Just
a pyramid on your
He
head?"
said, do that with your mind. No, I'm just kidding. That's a joke. So I asked him how it worked, and he said, these needles go inside you, and basically it tells your body to send more white blood cells to that location. And I was like,
why do the white blood cells know to go there?
I was like, excuse me, sir. I didn't say this, but I'm just sitting there like, that means you're putting dirty needles inside me. If my body
if this was a
is
sterile needle,
upset,
the white blood cells.
wouldn't need to go there.
Maybe it's just because
Yeah.
it's like your skin is open, and they're
it doesn't-
trying to
Then,
fix
then
the
your
hole.
body would send platelets.
So he was
Yeah.
basically saying like, hey, it's because I've made it angry in those specific spots. It's your body sending more help to those spots, and I'm like, oh, I think I was way off on this.
Yeah, because I've seen Cells at Work and
So
the anime, and it definitely...
I watched the children's cartoon. Oh man, dang it, it's gone.
Magic School Bus. I saw a Magic School Bus.
Ozzy.
oh, that's too new.
Osmosis
for me.
Jones.
Dang it, Osmosis Jones.
I watched
yeah.
Osmosis Jones.
You know when I watched that? I watched that mid-COVID during the lockdowns. It came
How
on
did you not?
Netflix, and I was
Oh,
like, that's
gosh.
the perfect show. So, yeah. I was not impressed with his response to why he's putting needles in me and why it works. Because
Yeah,
I
it
was
didn't
like,
make me feel better.
no, I was like, all of this feels wrong.
You
now.
should have asked him if it helps your chakras align.
Did he have a Himalayan salt lamp?
No.
Okay.
No. It's a cruise, so everything has to be spot out in teal and that kind of thing. Not
All
not full like pyramid like on your
Okay,
head kind of
okay.
thing. Yeah, I didn't go to that guy, but
So this might surprise you, but 2 weekends ago, I actually also participated in acupuncture.
no way. I never thought you would.
It
do
was
that.
it was a little different. It wasn't really 100% acupuncture, but I did use the corner of a shelf to pierce my head, just like you did acupuncture on your head. I did it was similar. We both
You
had
both got scalped.
Both were
We both
doctors
got-
involved.
Do you have a big old scab back there?
Did you get
there
stitches?
was no doctor. It was mostly just like the corner of a shelf, and I stood up into it, and then my head was bleeding.
Oh.
And then some guy looked at it, and he's like, "Let me dump some liquid Band-Aid in there." So he poured some Did you guys know? You guys know about liquid Band-Aid? It's
Yeah.
pretty wild.
Yeah.
You just pour it in there, and then it's like all better.
It's basically
But,
super
like,
glue.
So you know how like alcohol stings, and like
But what if
hydrogen
alcohol
peroxide
was glue
stings.
and
Yeah.
it was just in there cooking?
Man, Man, liquid Band-Aid, guys. That's the next level of sting. I had never been stung so bad. Like,
Oh man.
wow. Because it's like on your head where like the feels
And
happen.
are you just like bleeding like crazy because it's your head?
Yeah, it was bleeding a bit, and it was like, and he opened up. I separated my hair. I was like, "Hey, is it how does it look?" It's kind of
And they're,
bleeding
like,
a little.
bad.
And then he was like, "Wow, let me get some liquid Band-Aid for that." And he poured some liquid Band-Aid on there, and then it was better. And
Nice.
then I'm fine now. But yeah, it was good times.
Just I was like, how do-
so you and I both have participated in acupuncture.
Nice.
Oof.
It's a good time.
Speaking of stings, you said
Yeah.
that stung. When we
It
were
did.
in,
Oh man,
we went to Cabo, and I looked in the ocean. I was
Cabo
like,
San Lucas.
Cabo San Lucas, yes, on one of the
Okay.
days in the trip. And we went to Cabo, and then I look in the ocean, and I'm like, there's only a few people in the ocean. It's not that cold, though. It's a little bit abnormally cold, but it's not that cold. I'm like, what's going on? So we go in the ocean. Christy and I are kind of like, knee deep in there, getting used to the cold. Oh, it's cold, it's cold. And all of a sudden I go, ow, 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 ow. And then I run back to the shore, and Christy's looking at me like, what's going on? And I look down. There's a jellyfish tentacle floating in the water. And I'm like, oh. And then I look around me, and I see all the older men looking at each other's wounds from the jellyfish tentacles that were in the water. And
Well,
then I
that's
see
awesome.
other families go in the water. And then you're just on the beach waiting like for more entertainment from the water.
And nobody tells the next person.
Nobody tells the next person that just shows up, and it's like a whole family. And
Did
they're
you pee on your
having a
leg?
great
I've heard
time.
that that's a remedy.
No. So yeah.
Did Christy save your life?
No.
What?
No. There was no pee involved.
What?
No, surprisingly, that is the first question everyone asks me, and yeah, it didn't need to be peed on because it wasn't like the jellyfish wrapped around me. It was a tentacle that just had like grazed across both of
But
the
it's
top
the
of my
one
feet.
time you can actually test if that really helps.
I know. I really, at the beginning,
I'm so disappointed in you.
At the beginning of our marriage, Christy and I discussed if she would ever pee in my
Yes.
jellyfish stings.
Obviously.
And she's like, no, thank you. So I didn't even ask. And I was a man about it.
That's
Wait,
so
hang
ridiculous.
on. I'm curious.
Yeah.
Did that conversation actually happen?
It did. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
And
You know how I bring up
But
wild topics here?
if she had been,
So
if
what,
she had been,
so
if
what
he
you're
had been
saying
stung
is your
by
wife
like,
does not love you enough to pee on you in your greatest time of need.
I think
if a man of war had
No.
just stung him
I think
all over his body,
I think
and he
she-
was like, "Christy, I'm dying. Help! Help! I'm in tremendous pain."
I think she would. It's just a matter of it wasn't that bad, and I was being a
Follow-up
man
question.
about it.
It
So,
was on your feet.
yeah.
You can pee on your own feet, bud.
I know. I was like I could pee on my own feet. So if it like wrapped around me, and now if I was in
that's
like
the
shock,
first thing I would do. I'd be like, "Oh, jellyfish sting. Hang on."
hang on, excuse. So
I would
Yeah,
just
like-
be dehydrated from being.
I
out.
would definitely.
Yeah.
I would have probably peed on one foot to really like test the theory.
Yeah.
Just so I know.
so
Then
yeah,
I could actually recommend that to people.
I did not do that, but that is the most interesting thing because every time I say I
wanna
got stung
sting you
by a
with
jellyfish,
now.
that everyone has asked me, "Did you pee on it?" And I'm like, "That is the that is the wildest consensus."
Then you would know.
I know. Everyone's just wondering.
Why wouldn't
Imagine
you
if
want to
you
have
were
the
able
full
to say,
jellyfish experience?
Yes,
I
I got
know.
stung on both
I know,
feet,
I
and I
know.
peed on one, and it didn't help at all.
I know,
Yeah.
but
Imagine.
instead I sucked it up. I went to a nice food place and got a mango smoothie and some tacos. Al
You know what's so
pastor.
funny
And
is the food
put
place that
the
you went to.
tacos on your hurt foot. I don't get it.
No. I sucked it up. I said
The
it's
food
fine.
place that you went to, was it like a little restaurant?
It was a restaurant that was 2-story facing the shore, so it was a beautiful restaurant.
Honestly, I bet you they had some Windex in that restaurant that you could have just sprayed your foot and it would have.
You sound
felt
like
better.
my big fat Greek wedding.
No, I'm saying what's in your urine,
Have you seen that just
ammonia.
Everything's Windex.
I've never seen that movie.
The active
Yeah.
ingredient
Someone will
in your
enjoy that.
urine is the same as in Windex, and you could have helped your foot just with the glass
I
cleaner.
could have turned into like a blue mutant. That'd
No,
been
they
cool.
did not. That was Cabo San Lucas. They don't have Windex there. They have Fabuloso.
Oh, nice.
Even in beaches in Australia, they keep like jugs of Windex
Just for cleaning windows.
on the beach because there's big giant jellyfish.
Why
that
don't they
will
just get
sting you all
ammonia
over your
instead of
body.
Windex?
Yeah, why don't they just pee on it?
Yes, it's just
Yeah.
they have jugs of ammonia. I'm
Yeah.
saying
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
but
why'd you say it was Windex then? I'm confused.
It's not name brand. It's like Glasso.
Hey, mate, clean your window.
Yeah. It's
Nice.
It get me the bottle of Shiny.
Yeah, that's a better one than I came up with. Bottle of Shiny.
Nice.
That's a good one. So yeah, that was fun. We also swam with dolphins. That was the other big expense we did.
That's cool.
Yeah, so we got to swim with them. They got to like ride us around this big pool. So
No, shoot.
yeah, it was cool.
Did you get to like ride the back of a dolphin?
Yeah, too. And I
Wow.
at one point, so Christy went first. There was like a group of 6 of us with 2 dolphins, and they was like, okay, they're gonna come by you, and then you hold your arms out and hold on to their fins on their backs, right?
Yeah.
And we're all like, yeah, sure, great. And then, so Christy does it, right? She's short, and they did, boom, right there. Came up, took her away, and they're like, okay, let go, boom, let go. And then I go up. I'm the second person. And then I go up, and since I have abnormally long arms, I reach out and grab the dolphins. But basically, I'm hugging them instead of just like,
Oh,
I go
man.
past them because they're
Their
sized
fins
like
hit his elbows.
they're sized to be like right next to you, and my arms wrapped around to their bottom side,
Yeah.
and the dolphins were like
Man, you held a couple of dolphins.
they're like chugging along, and the instructor's like, just a fin, just a fin, please. And I'm like, I let go, and then I like do like back my arms up, and then the dolphins like take off, and I'm like, oh, sorry guys, I was like holding them back. So
They're like,
Yeah, it was
no,
cool.
not this way, not
Yeah.
this way.
yeah,
What do dolphins feel like?
they feel like it's a very like firm but the smoothest leather.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
it's very like
but
moist,
it's like it's like
smooth,
hard.
like hard, and like they're like so muscly, but it's like leather, like slick, like silk leather. Like,
Whoa.
yeah, it's very cool. Yeah, and all of the noise you hear, these are dolphin
Yeah.
facts now. All the
Yeah.
noise you hear, it's not coming out of their mouth; it's coming out of their blowhole.
Nice.
That's I would have guessed that.
Yeah,
I
it's
think.
reasonable, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, it was.
That's cool.
It was a blast.
I love that.
Yeah.
Did you know
I
there,
heard.
Did you know there
Oh,
was
go
a
ahead, Justin.
there-
You talk.
There was a lady who tried to teach. She was doing a study on animal intelligence,
Okay.
and she tried to teach a dolphin how to talk because they have big brains like people.
Yep.
And she was like, "Oh, I'll just teach this dolphin how to talk because, like, to see if they understand language and counting, and to see if they could communicate using English, right?" But she didn't try and teach it like, like she tried to teach it English, not just like concepts and stuff. So what she does is she paints her whole face white, and then she paints her mouth black so that it's high contrast and the dolphins can see everything. And she's taking it super seriously, right?
She's like a penguin now.
And then the guys paying for her to do this stupid study come and see her. And they realize that she's trying to get the dolphin to talk with its blowhole, which they realized was essentially like a person trying to talk using their sphincter. And they're like, oh, this dolphin's never going to be able to. This is a waste of my money.
That's
so
funny.
they're like, we're done, no more. And
Cut funding. Bye. Interesting.
they're like, oh, this dolphin can have the biggest brain in the world, and you're trying to make it talk with its head butthole.
Yeah.
This isn't going to happen.
I don't understand why whoever this lady was.
You could almost hear some words. You could almost hear some. When this dolphin's cranking on it, you could swear his headbutt said 3.
Yeah. They do. They're very talented. They talked, and it was like, okay, do this, sing the song, and then like when you gave it a hug, or like you danced with it, and it's like it was the worst sound I've ever heard out of any mammal. It was like, oh yeah, hold its fins and dance with it. It's like, and I'm like, that was like the most uncomfortable I've been holding an animal before.
Well, like the sound effect that they used to make the velociraptors in Jurassic Park was a walrus and a dolphin.
The little like ticking, like.
Well, when they screech, that's a dolphin, and the
makes
low
sense.
rumble is the
walrus.
The walrus.
Like that makes
Well,
sense.
these are all very interesting
Animal
dolphin
facts.
facts.
The Tyrannosaurus Rex is just a blender, but it's an actual the dolphin.
It's not actually a blender, is it? Really?
It's a blender.
That's funny.
I'm sure there's some other stuff in there too, but
Yeah.
like you can.
Yeah, and
when you hear them
it's
go,
probably been-
"Arr!" That's them
I hear
starting
that-
the blender up.
I hear that in the morning sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, they pitch shift it and everything,
Yeah.
but it's a blender.
That's interesting. I
It
didn't.
Like
started
the-
his life as a blender with a brick in it.
Like the big giant, in Lord of the Rings, the big giant demon-y thing that tries to kill him in the first movie, the big fire demon. He's them dragging a cinder block over gravel, and they just slowed it down.
Oh, nice. That makes sense.
Yeah, so there's sound effects are weird.
Yeah.
It's not going to come from nothing.
So I heard on the internet, and that's not true. Justin told me that there's some hot news in the, with Lucasfilms doing stuff weird.
Oh,
Great segment.
okay.
Thanks, I did it.
So basically, brief explanation. In summary, Disney as a whole has to buy out Comcast from Hulu.
Why?
Okay? Because they want to keep Hulu. So they have to buy Comcast out of their shares.
Okay.
And so Disney was like, yeah, we think it's worth maybe $8 billion. And Comcast is like, we think it's worth 20.
Yeah, when they have to buy you. Well, we think it's worth.
And the problem
infinity.
is when they bought Hulu and they spent $70 billion on Fox.
Because that was the one of the 3 owners of Hulu or something. I don't know.
Yes.
It was like 2.
There was 3.
Okay.
There was like Disney, Fox, and Comcast, but then they bought Fox.
Fox, yeah.
So now they became the majority shareholder, and then in an X number of years. But when they bought Hulu or Fox, they were like at the height of Infinity War,
Yeah.
right?
They had loads of money.
Every movie they made, like even the dumb live action movies they made, the live action remakes were making $1 billion.
Yeah.
Fast forward to this year, every single movie they've put out has either broken even or lost up to and including like hundreds of millions of dollars.
I thought it would be billions.
Like Ant-Man flopped.
they've been doing some real stinkers.
Like
Mermaid.
flopped. Indiana Jones is tracking to
Buzz Lightyear flopped.
Buzz Lightyear flopped. So they've had all these things that haven't made them any money back. And they have about $200 million in the bank.
Oh, jeez.
And they're valued at $117 billion or so. They're a big company, but they have no cash.
Oh, jeez.
And so the deadline is coming up to have to buy Hulu. And even when Apple did their presentation, the president of Disney came out and they were like, to present the new VR thing, and they're like, look, this could be a great thing for storytelling. And everybody, I'm sure, including Disney, wants Apple to buy Disney because they have no money and they wasted all of it on movies that didn't make any money. So they're like
That'd be
looking
weird if
everywhere.
Apple bought Disney.
They're looking around and they're like,
Well, that's what Justin
need-
just said.
So Disney, there is precedent for something crazy to happen, which is Disney selling Lucasfilm to make money because all of the Disney movies that they've released have just died. Everybody is just getting away from everything the Wicked Witch of the West is making. Okay, and so there's this mass exodus to the point where they damage the brand, and they're saying no. But multiple sources inside of Disney are saying that they've actually drafted a plan and have not a corporate entity, but there is a person, a buyer with a capital B, who is interested. And Bob Iger had them draft a plan for what that would look like if they did. They're not planning, maybe, but they had the legal team like write up kind of a draft of what a sale of that. And they literally, in the past, they bought Power Rangers from Saban in the past. Disney bought the rights to Power Rangers
Okay.
for I think it was like $2 to $4 billion. Okay,
Billion?
They spent money for Power Rangers, and this was like
Gee
in
whiz.
1990, like I think 7 or something, when Power Rangers was like a phenomenon.
I didn't think it would be $1 billion.
But it was
Especially
a lot.
Gee whiz.
And then they ended up selling it back for, I think it was like $6 million. Like Saban bought it back later for like $30 million.
Who's Saban?
Chaim Saban is a big giant like entertainment owner from the Middle East or something.
That's what. Okay, all right.
And he owned Power Rangers, the rights, and he produced the ones here.
He made bank on that.
Like he bought the Japanese clips, put the people over here in costumes, and said, okay, the episodes, like you knew when like the Green Ranger came out and his Zord is a Godzilla, you're like, we're gonna make so much money. And then towards the end, they have, the Japanese episode is shot in Japan, so they would have Japan themed stuff in Japan. So there was a pachinko machine monster.
What?
Exactly. And a pachinko machine
Is that like a vending machine?
It's a gambling machine that's from casinos in Japan, and all it does is rain down a bunch of steel balls everywhere, and then they go clack 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 clack, and you're trying to.
Oh yeah.
It's like crazy random.
It's kind of like Plinko from the show with Drew Carey.
The PIR.
Yeah. I've
Yeah.
heard those rooms that they have them in are just a nightmare to be in because it's like deafening.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then in the Angel Grove Rec Center where all the cool kids hanging out, they had to have a reason to put a pachinko machine in canon so that it could later become a monster.
That's funny.
So they had to have one of the Rangers get addicted to it, and oh no, I'm fighting gambling addiction. Help me, guys. I can't help it. And it turns into a monster, and he's still playing pachinko on it. And then Disney's like, this show is not working out. And they didn't advertise it. They buried it on like Tuesday mornings at like 2:00 in the morning when no kids. So it died, and they sold it back to Chaim Saban. So now there is precedence on a corporate level for them to sell back a brand that they've murdered. Right?
Okay. Sell back to Lucas?
That's whatever. Who else would care about it? Like what person on earth would know how to save it and care about it?
So they have to buy Comcast.
Like even when he gave Kathleen Kennedy the heart to heart and said if Indiana Jones flops, that I'm going to drag you out by your hair and toss you out on the street.
He did not say that. You can't say that.
He said you're super fired if
Okay.
it doesn't make a lot of money. If he
That's
said if
more
it doesn't
reasonable.
make $900 million, you are so fired. I gave you the chance to go out gracefully at Star Wars Celebration. You didn't do it. You announced all these, lame Rey Skywalker movies that nobody wants to see. So now, fast forward, he's like, we need money. They're even like, do we have to like sell a theme park? What do we have to do? We have to get this money.
Because they have to buy it. That's in the contract, like 3 years later. or
Yeah,
something.
with Comcast. And so Comcast is dragging them through legal arbitration, stating that property is worth 20, not like 8 billion. They're saying it's worth 22.
Hulu's not worth 20.
It's not.
It's
But
worth garbage.
I know, but they're trying to pump it up so that they can make $20 billion.
Hulu's never made
But if the arbitrator says that it
anything good.
is, so
Hulu's original content is stuff you would never want to watch.
and this is all because
That's true.
Bob Iger spent like $70 billion on Fox in the vast hope that if they take all their content out of Hulu, make their own thing, Netflix. If they take all their content off of Netflix, all the Disney stuff off of Netflix, and just do their own thing, they're gonna print money, right? That was the theory when they spent 70
You have to put
billion.
good content often up there.
Did Disney Plus make money?
No.
It did not.
No.
Is it when they released Mandalorian, their hit show that they launched Disney Plus on? They launched Disney Plus on Mandalorian's back.
Mm-hmm.
When they launched season 3 of The Mandalorian, did their subscribers go up or down?
Down.
Down.
Yes.
During the launch month, and they're like, "Oh, we are so dead. We lost so much money on this thing."
Because it's too many subscribers.
So they
many subscriptions now.
It doesn't even matter what they want to do. They have to pay Comcast.
They were greedy, and this is what you get when you're greedy.
So it looks like even now we're all waiting, and so even the one shining.
So we're not going to have any more Star Wars stuff at all. Because Lucas is just going to be like, well, I'm retired now, and this is my IP, and keep giving me royalties forever. But
I mean, if they were to make Jon Favreau the creative director of Lucasfilm, I would watch everything they make.
okay, that's reasonable.
I mean, he just
He actually cares.
when
about
it was
his
just
job.
when it was just what he wanted to make. Like if you look at the pilot for Mandalorian and how gritty and dark and awesome it was, you're like, oh, okay, they get it. And then like I know Andor didn't make money and it was super expensive to make, but it is a work of art.
Yeah,
So you could see people over there knowing how to do it.
yeah.
But just recently, not only as we saw at Star Wars Celebration, when Kathleen Kennedy walks out on the stage and gets introduced, everybody goes, boo, hiss, right? They're at the premiere of Indiana Jones. This is true, Josiah. I will not cap. And
We're no capping allowed here.
I'm too old.
Steven Spielberg gets out there to announce the movie, and he's like, I just want everybody to know there are 5 people, and everybody's up on stage. Everybody. You have like Frank, Kathleen Kennedy's husband, and you have Kathleen Kennedy, and you have George Lucas, and you have Steven Spielberg, and you have John Williams, and you have like just this.
Who's the main actor guy?
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford.
So it's just like this wall of talent, right? And Steven Spielberg gets up there and he looks Kathleen Kennedy in the eyeballs the whole time. He doesn't break eye contact the whole time he says this. And he's like, I just want to thank, I just want everybody to know, and again, does not break eye contact. I just want everybody in this auditorium to know there are 3 people that without whom none of this would have happened. Nobody would be here today if it were not for these 3 people. First of all, I'd like to thank the creator, George Lucas, and everybody goes, erupts with cheers, and you could see Kathleen Kennedy, like going like, oh yeah, I guess it wouldn't be here if he hadn't created it. Thanks. And she like taps her 2 fingers together. She like hashtag applauds, And then he goes, okay, and Steven Spielberg, while not breaking eye contact, goes, and I'd like to thank the man who is Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford, and the crowd goes, we're sorry, this is your last movie. And then Kathleen Kennedy is like, that's true, and she kind of like glances over like that. I guess we couldn't have it without the star to, that I could break him down and insult him with my brunette self-insert character in this movie. and then he's still looking at Kathleen Kennedy, and there's this one other person who's been the glue through all 5 of these movies.
Has she been around the whole time?
The whole time.
The whole time since the first one?
Since Indiana Jones first.
Oh wow.
She was like
She's old.
shining George Lucas's shoes and bringing Steven Spielberg coffee, and she's like, would you like creamer with that coffee, And then somehow they're like,
best boy.
She makes really good coffee. We should make her the president of Lucasfilm. That's going to work out really well. And then so he's still looking at her, and he's like, there's one person who's been here this whole time, and my gosh, are they just the most pivotal thing? And you could she like gets a little excited. She's like, that's true. I have been here this whole time. And he's like, John Williams, and everybody's like, yeah. And she doesn't even applaud. She just starts to like walk off stage. She goes like, you could just see her like shrug and be like, oh. So in front of everybody, and he instead of saying like, and then there's this other person, Kathleen Kennedy, and she really just no. Kathleen Kennedy made like the 3rd most expensive movie of all time. It cost more than Endgame to make an Indiana Jones movie.
What? Are you serious? You're literally going to
Oh my gosh.
It
just
cost-
go to the Middle East and use one camera.
Here,
Like,
Star Wars Episode 7.
gee whiz.
Star Wars Episode 7.
Yeah.
The Force Awakens. Okay. $250 million to make.
Jeez.
This movie, 330.
I mean, inflation is a thing, but
$330 million.
gee whiz.
Then
How much special effects do you even need?
another $150 million on marketing. So now we're at 480. So we're at like $500 million to make this thing. And it's tracking to make back like nothing. It's opening weekend. It's on track to make, I think, 50 or 60 million. Like, it's so dead. It's so dead.
That's the worst. What?
I just looked up because this was news to me that Kathleen Kennedy has been making this many things for so long. So I looked up her IMDb profile because I was like, what has she been a part of?
Yeah.
It's true. She was part of all the Indiana Joneses, so that's cool. But she also was the executive producer on The Goonies,
Okay.
Back to the Future.
Jeez.
She worked on. She was the executive producer for Back to the Future 2 and 3. She did that whole thing.
So great. When she surrounded herself with really creative people.
She was the executive producer on An American Tail, Fievel Goes West.
Oh, shoot. That's like the best movie.
She was a producer on the movie Hook,
Okay.
Jurassic Park,
So she's done a lot of good.
Schindler's List, The Flintstones.
So what
No, but again,
happened?
she's all
Do you think-
Indian in the Cupboard.
Do you think... Oh,
she's
the
been attached to
classic?
Steven Spielberg this whole time.
Do you think-
she just let him make movies and went, "Yep, that's good."
do you think they swapped her? Like they did a body swap?
I mean,
Like, there's so many good movies in her
this-
history.
this-
yes,
sounds like a-
because of Amblin, because of Steven Spielberg.
And then all of a sudden, we just in 2015,
She just sat in an office
Star
in
Wars
Amblin
Episode
Entertainment.
4, The Force Awakens comes out,
Yes,
and then from then on, it just all turns to dog water.
yes.
I don't understand.
I think they did a body swap.
She scuttled the whole thing.
And she's still busy ruining stuff.
But so Jon Favreau even did an interview, and he was like, "Look, guys, we've heard the fan response about season 3 of Mandalorian because it was like awful, and we kind of had to submit to Kathleen Kennedy during the scripting phase, so she got to like not let us write anything good, and like she didn't even let Boba Fett come back for the finale and everything, like nothing. She just."
What the heck?
She made them bring Grogu back. Like, they wanted Grogu to stay with Luke for more than 16 seconds. So he's like, I hear you guys. I just want you to know, and Filoni even backed this up, Kathleen Kennedy, all of their new stuff, like the Ahsoka show and season 4 of Mandalorian, like name another thing that Favreau is working on. She can't touch anything. If she was still in charge, like if she was still the big man on campus, she is not allowed to touch one thing creatively. She's already out.
Justin, this is why I don't believe you.
She's
Because we've
not
heard this
allo-
before.
No, it's
I
not.
wanna
I've
hear
said
it-
that they're going to kick
I
her.
want to hear
No.
from John Baloney's
No.
mouth before I'll believe
Honestly,
you.
she does not have creative control.
No. Well,
I don't
I
believe it.
heard that.
She does
You've told
not.
me this before.
She is allowed to touch
80 episodes
She
ago.
is allowed to touch the Acolyte and Skeleton Crew. Those are the only 2 projects she has any creative say over.
What does it say on her IMDb?
And the Acolyte is just a money laundering scheme over in England. Nobody's seen anything. It's vaporware. No one has seen anything out of the Acolyte.
I don't even know
Disney
what the Acolyte is.
Exactly. It's a money laundering scheme that has a title. And believe me, Disney sent their financial team, their accounting team, to go look at Lucas's film. They just gave Lucasfilm a proctology exam to say, what is this Acolyte thing that we haven't seen anything, but it spent millions and millions of dollars.
Oh boy. That's Interesting.
She is the executive producer for The Acolyte, whatever that is.
That's true, but she is not involved in any way with season 4 of Mandalorian, or season 4 of Bo-Katan, or season 1 of what's her name?
Ahsoka? It says she's the executive producer of Ahsoka.
Justin.
She's not involved creatively.
Justin.
She's the executive producer.
Did you know
all 8
Did you
episodes
guys
of
know
Ahsoka.
that Lucas is actually involved with Jon Favreau and creating these new shows? They actually meet with George Lucas.
That's random.
We're working directly with him to make Star Wars great again. Like somebody should make red hats for Make Star Wars Great Again. But
they'd get mixed up.
Honestly,
Maybe like
no, they actually meet with him.
Color.
And the producer of The Acolyte, Leslie Headland, said, I don't want George Lucas on set because he's going to bring all of his, like, she hates the direction that he takes Star Wars. And
it's
so
his mind child.
No, she thinks that her way is more gooder than George Lucas's.
For Star Wars.
I think that's illegal.
Like, that would be like somebody else saying, I think I could do a better job with Apple than Steve Jobs. I mean...
No, you just say he does a good job.
Oh my gosh.
She literally kicked him off. She told Disney, she said, I want George Lucas off this set. He is not allowed to be. He is unwelcome. And so
silly.
The 3 like Lucas and Filoni and Favreau are now basically going to relaunch Star Wars from the ground up. And it's going to rise like a phoenix from the ashes. Like,
but they won't have any money.
No, but they're going to sell Lucasfilm.
But there won't be any money. The reason these were good is because they had money.
So that's what that.
And now they won't have any money to do anything with, anything good with.
Keep your eye on the horizon, people.
But the episode 4, 5, and 6 didn't have much money anyway. So
and we'll all have fun. We'll all have a popcorn watch party over the weekend, watching Indiana Jones just completely crash and burn over.
Not like actually watching the movie. Please don't do that.
No.
But watching the ratings
ticker
dump.
Yeah. Even
or not the ratings, the number of people that watch it.
Did you know that while Kathleen Kennedy is walking in, she went to a film festival to release her Indiana Jones 5 to the world? She went to a Cannes, like with a whole bunch of the big wigs in Hollywood. They have a film festival at Cannes. And Disney released the press release that they're shutting down her Galaxy's Edge hotel, which is based on the sequel series.
Oh, because it was so expensive. It was like $5,000 a night.
No,
yeah, it could be the coolest thing in the world, but people can't pay that much money.
$2,500 a night. So it's $5,000 it's a 2-day experience.
Yeah, sorry, $5,000 total for 2 days
per person.
Per person, Josiah.
No one pays that.
So then
no Star Wars fan.
They're shutting it down for the tax write-off. And Bob Iger is standing there next to her. It had to be planned because it's like as she's walking up, it's on a weekend. Like, why else would you? So they're like walking into the movie. She looks at her phone and you see a text come in and then she's like, ah. And then he looks over there and he's like, got her. Like, he knows
what
that he's just what
was the text?
No, it shut down the press release.
Oh,
because they didn't even warn her that they were shutting her. Like it cost them $2 billion, and he's like,
oh my gosh,
he shut it down right on top of her. He didn't even call her, no email. Hey, by the way, we're gonna shut down Galaxy's Edge. Nothing.
How do you know that's a text message?
Sorry, Galaxy's Edge is the attraction at Disneyland.
No, they're not shutting that.
Whatever the hotel is called, the Galaxy Cruiser or something.
I don't know, but I saw the news about it being shut down, and I was like, are you kidding? $5,000. $5,000.
I'm telling you,
no one's gonna go there.
I don't even pay more than
just make it a cool looking hotel and make it
Star Wars themed.
A few $100.
Yeah, I don't pay more than
$600 a night. But for the room, not per person.
I'm like a Motel 6 kind of guy. Not really.
Oh my god, I can't believe it's such a cool concept to have like a really cool Star Wars, and especially because like they already built it, like the hotel's already there.
Well, it's so funny because you see Galaxy's Edge and you're like, I am actually in. When you go on some of the rides, like the Escape from the Resistance or whatever.
Oh man, that was amazing.
Oh, that was the best.
That's what being in a hotel should be like. It should be like walking into the Death Star and then you're just in bed.
Yeah.
Like it should be that bleak,
I
white,
loved that.
1970s science fiction. I mean, that's what we're
And then
looking
there's
for.
like a probe that comes like knocking on your door, floats in.
And like
Yes.
brings you a cheeseburger.
yeah. And here, hot towel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's all you
gosh,
need.
dude.
That's all you need. You don't need. You
It
don't need
was so
people.
simple.
Have it be all droid based, and then it's relatively inexpensive.
Yeah, I would love to have a droid roll in there and just fire a towel out of a t-shirt cannon. Ow! Thanks, R2. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
That'd be
but they had to
amazing.
go like, oh, here's your person, here's the full immersion. It's like, no, thank you. I don't
Nope,
need to.
nobody needs to do
And
that
it was
immersed.
like bunk bed style too.
So the future is super bright. They are just purging. Like
I've said it before,
Did-
and I'll say it every time.
I'll
Until
believe
she's
it.
gone, I won't believe it.
You send me the article.
Their financial, the number 2 person at Marvel, because Marvel was losing money too on like Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because they
Marvel's
keep
not
making
even
dumb
doing
stuff.
great. And Thor 4 wasn't like a whole bunch of their movies either lost money or broke even. The number 2, their lead visual effects person at Disney, for Marvel Studios, fired without warning. Gone.
Was he too expensive?
Well, we're pretty sure that they called Kevin Feige into the office and he kind of blamed her. But I mean, everybody's been complaining about her special effects that she'd been heading up. Like she's the head of all physical
Thor
and
4
computer
was so
effects.
bad. We never talked about it. It was so bad.
So she is gone, meaning nobody is untouchable. And now that it's all like, okay, today, Disney's chief financial officer quit. Their financial situation is so bad
Oh,
that their
geez.
CFO quit her job.
That's really bad when the CFO is like, okay, I see the books. I don't want to be a part of this sinking ship.
Yeah,
Bye.
when
Yeah.
the person that knows your money the best
yeah.
leaves.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's writing on the wall for sure.
Yeah, that
Okay.
happened. That happened at that bank that shut down.
So when I say like it's,
I mean, I'll believe it when I see it. You've said this before, but CFO's quitting is a sign of
That's a big
things
boy.
to come for sure.
when he called Kevin Feige into his office, he was like, "Look, no spending more than $150 million on a movie, like no budget overruns." And with Kathy, he's like, "If you spend more, if you don't make $900 million on Indiana Jones, you're out of here." So it was very different messages.
yeah, you have to make this. Your audience has to do this.
Yeah, since you already
Yeah,
spent,
good luck.
since you've driven I paid $4 billion for Star Wars, and Star Wars, you killed it. You killed $4 billion of my money.
This all started with episode 7.
Well, really, she didn't kill $4 billion.
Episode 8? No, sorry, episode 8.
She killed so much
potentially-
more than that.
Yeah, she killed
Because it could have been
Amazing.
8 movies or whatever, you
Yeah.
know?
just
Like-
unlimited money.
Yeah. Episode
Star Wars
8
has
just-
printed money for generations.
Like it, given that the first one, episode 7 made $2 billion, and
Yeah.
all of us after episode 7, were we more hype or less hype than we were?
After episode 7?
After episode 7,
We were
we're like,
more
oh,
hyped.
the second one is going to be even better. I
Yes.
mean, this is the Empire Strikes Back. This is the
I saw it
culminating
in
event.
theaters.
Yeah.
Everybody was so ready to go
Yeah.
see that movie 17 times.
Yeah.
So yeah, she definitely lost more than $4 billion. She
Yeah.
lost, I
Yeah.
mean, potentially just she destroyed a money printing machine.
Yeah.
Yep.
And since Indiana Jones is one person, let's face it, even if you recast Indiana Jones, no, it's Harrison Ford or nothing.
Yeah.
It's true. You
Principally.
can't have anyone else do it.
And a lot of the other properties like Willow, nobody had ever heard of. So it was like, get Star Wars back on track. So when he talks to like George and Favreau, he's like, just fix it. Just start the money printing machine, please.
Yep.
I don't know
I mean, we
how.
have a whole episode talking about how they can just, X-Men Days of Future Past style,
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
just
They could do it.
Just wipe it all out.
Just
tell
be
everybody,
ready,
hey,
guys.
episode 7, 8, and 9, it was all a joke. Just kidding. We're going to redo it all.
Everybody in the sound of my voice, Kathleen Kennedy is as good as gone. Better days are here
Heard it
to
before.
come.
Well, you bring us
Heard
the
it
article,
before.
Justin, when it's actually happening.
I'll do it.
And we'll believe you.
I will do it.
We're hopeful.
We will have. I'll just do a flash release.
The week that she is actually fired, we will actually record. we will do a live episode that week. We'll just live stream.
We'll just.
I'm gonna spin up a Twitch account just for one episode, just for us to do a live stream episode of that.
We just do a live
glorious-
reaction.
You just call me and we'll just get in.
It's now.
We're live on air right then,
Man, it's gonna be
and
like
then we'll have a party.
it's gonna be
I'll
like
make
a
cake.
national event.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna be cheering.
Oh man,
There's gonna be
it's
like
4th of July.
confetti everywhere in the streets,
It's gonna be great.
marches.
Oh man. So, just saying.
Star
Get
Wars
ready.
is safe. All right, well, Justin, you let us know when this is real, because
All right.
we've heard this for the last 30 episodes.
No, I'm
Yeah.
good.
Not
Just wanted to let you guys know.
well. Thank you for the update.
Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for coming to our TV show we
Thank
do in
you.
your ears.
Tune
It's
in.
been fun.
Email us any topics you want to hear discussed or argue with us, or tune into our YouTube channel and comment down below.
Hit the notification bell.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh my gosh. He just unplugged it.
You gotta leave your phone plugged in. Yeah.
Oh, Justin.